We want to welcome everyone today to our T and T podcast. I am part of that T. I'm Lathan Turner with the Office of Student Transition, and the other part of the T is
Tanner Rhodes, and I am the assistant office office assistant of student transitions.
So we want to welcome everyone as we share a little bit today. Hopefully, things have gone well for our listeners during the course of the semester. We know that we're almost at the end of the race, Tanner. So we want to talk a little bit today about students moving toward their final weeks here at East Carolina University. Whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior, we want to wish everyone the very best as you prepare for exams, take your final exams, and then for whatever happens for you after the semester ends. If you're headed off to work, or if you'll be back for summer school, whatever the case may be. Maybe you're going to be helping us out here at East Carolina University for things like orientation or summer camps or just whatever the case may be. So we want to talk a little bit about some of the resources that are available for students. Like I say, regardless of what situation you will be in, whether it's work, school, or whatever, just whatever. We want to talk a little bit about that. Tanner, what do you think students in general are thinking about and preparing as they get ready for the final week or weeks of the semester?
I'm thinking about summertime and relaxing, but trying to stay focused and grind out the last week or so.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, so I think it's real important that part that you mentioned about trying to stay focused. After spring break, we talk about as faculty here. After spring break, things kind of start sliding, not necessarily down the hill, but it's a little different for the student experience because you know that you're getting close toward the end of the semester, and so your attention span may be a little different than it was in January. But regardless of that fact, we know that pretty soon all of this will come to an end for the spring semester. As a matter of fact, for this spring, classes end on the 26th of April. And then following that is reading day, where students will have an opportunity to transition, start, that serious buckle down for classes and final exams, right? Um, so, test time. Tanner, let's talk a little bit about how to get prepared for these final exams.
There's always the tutoring center.
Yeah.
Just reach out to your professors. A lot of times they provide study guides. That's pretty much the best advice. Just go over your material and especially go over the study guides that the professors provide.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the key things that I often talk about in our freshman introduction classes is making sure that you establish some kind of partnership with the professors, that you stay in touch with them over the course of the semester so that by the time you get to final exams, they at least can identify with who you are and what your situation might be. So everybody gets ready, starts studying for exams. Let's talk just a minute about the whole concept of cramming for an exam versus kind of pacing yourself on that. Are there advantages you think to cramming for exams?
No, I don't think so because once you study like the night before,
Mhm.
you might know it, but once you get your exam, you'll forget everything.
Yeah.
I forgot what kind of law or principle that is, but
That Murphy's Law?
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, the longer you study
Mhm.
for the exam, the more you'll know.
Mhm.
So don't try and cram the night before.
Yeah. So if you're cramming right now, you might want to rethink that thing. But I mean, utilize the weekend, try to pace yourself, give yourself a schedule to start studying. Build in some relaxed time in there. If you study for 2 to 3 hours, you might want to take an hour break and then come back and study some more, and then take another hour break. But definitely, you want to pace your time. Take, if you need to take a nap or whatever during the mid afternoon, and then get back at it. Um, how difficult do you think it is when a student is managing that part and then trying to work at the same time, Jan?
Definitely have to set your priorities right. Coffee.
Yeah, lots of coffee. Right?
Um,
Lots of coffee.
yeah, it's kind of hard to juggle, but sometimes the position you're at, they'll be able to work with you on, your schedule and time off.
All right. So, for our seniors, the other big deal is May 6th, 2022. We will have our graduation ceremonies here on campus, and we are returning to our traditional outdoor graduation ceremony, which will be held at Dowdy Ficklin Stadium at 9 o'clock, I believe it is, on Friday, May the 6th. So there's a lot of excitement about that. After coming out of COVID and all of those protocols, we're able to open our ceremonies back up. So we're looking forward to graduation on May 6th at 9 a.m. But leading up to that, what are some key things that you think seniors should be thinking about leading up to graduation?
Definitely get your tickets in time
Get
for
your
graduation.
tickets. Yeah. Yes.
Make sure you have your, cap and gown.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
other than graduation itself, applying for jobs or grad school.
Mhm.
That's probably the toughest thing.
Here's an interesting piece. You talk about get your cap and gown. Um, I know there are extremes, and some people are going to say they may not believe me when I tell them this story, but I was at the dry cleaners about a month ago. You all picked up caps and gowns back in what, early March, February, late February?
I think March.
March. I saw a student with her cap and gown. I knew it was hers because it was purple. The gown was purple. Taking her gown to the cleaners to be pressed, so that I'm sure maybe she was taking pictures. A lot of students take formal pictures and they want everything to look good. But the fact of the matter is that she was getting prepared, that early, and to that extent that she took her gown to the cleaners to get pressed. Because they're folded up in these bags, and I've seen students come to graduation that morning. You can tell they just opened the bag that morning.
Oh yeah.
Because the gown is all folded up and it's got crinkles in it. So, do what you think is best, but you might want to go ahead and open the bag up now and at least let the wrinkles fall out. You don't have to take it to the cleaners, but you can at least let those wrinkles
Take it to grandma.
take it to grandma's house. I'm sure grandma would be glad, to press that gown out for her grandson or granddaughter. That's a good point. But anyway, yeah, preparing for the graduation ceremonies. Make sure you check in, get your tickets, stay in tune with your email for any updates. We do have a commencement website, so students can go to the website, check it out, and stay in tune with all of the ceremonies. We are also returning to our departmental ceremony, so that's another big deal for this year. So we have the large ceremony that morning of May 6th, and then that's followed that afternoon and the next day for departmental. So we're looking forward to that. You mentioned, things that students need to start thinking about, the jobs and all of those. Our career center. We want to advocate that our students be in touch with our career center, right? Yeah, yeah. What kind of things have you?
I guess the only thing I would say about that is, it's kind of tough getting a job right out of college.
Yeah.
So the best thing is just get your foot in the door
Yes.
for at least a year or two, and then you'll have a lot more opportunities in the future.
Yeah. And hopefully some our students have taken advantage of career fairs. The Career Center offers a lot of career fairs. You can go online and look up any upcoming career fairs, get practice during interviews online. There are a lot of services available for students looking for job opportunities. Maybe you're just looking for an internship. I know that several companies offer internships as well. So they really should go online and check out, or go by the Career Center off Fifth Street and talk with the counselors there.
Yeah, they'll teach you how to build a resume,
Exactly.
cover letter. They'll give you pointers for interviews. Also, how to lead a presentation. So
Yeah.
very, very helpful.
Yeah, you may be the person that walks in the door that they're looking for. They may say, "You're the exact person I'm looking for." So check in with them and take advantage of all of these services. So what about things like, so graduation has happened and now students, let's say that they did get a job offer. So what are some of the kinds of things they need to start thinking about?
Place to live.
A
Another place to live.
Right.
Finances coming in,
Right.
saving money, and
Yeah.
real world stuff.
Yeah. Making a budget, depending on what salary that they're going to have coming into their new job, creating a budget is very important, and trying to stick to that budget. Don't live above your means right out with the first job, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you might have to then make other decisions like, wow, I need a second job,
Right.
just to maintain financially. But yeah, housing is a big decision because, depending on the market at any given time, you may be able to find a really good deal, or you may have to settle for something that you really don't want to pay for as much, but because, you didn't really get on top of that early, you may have to settle for something that you really don't want to pay that much for.
I know because of COVID, a lot of the jobs have gone remote.
Good point.
So that's really beneficial for a lot of people,
Yeah.
not wanting to pay so much for housing in
Yes.
larger cities like Raleigh or Charlotte.
Yeah.
So that's really helpful.
Yeah, that's a great point. Remote, you talk with your employer, and they may even advertise the job as such that it will be remote. So that's a huge savings. I wish things like that were available when I was coming out years and years and years and years ago, because our whole thought process was graduate, get a job, move, get your own place, A, B, C, X, Y, Z. But yeah, a lot of different options these days. Remote is one of those that's readily available for everybody. Managing your finances, as you mentioned, is another important thing. Like I said, making a budget and kind of not living kind of modestly and not overboard. Don't overdo it. What do you think about? Let's say that you do get a job offer that's out of town or out of state. Would you encourage students to start thinking about a roommate to kind of help with?
Yeah, I know a lot of people that still have roommates right out of college.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great way to save money, so you're not having to pay for the whole apartment or house or whatever.
Right. And so here's another big question for you, Tanner. Let's say that you get a job offer in your hometown, but you've been living now on your own in college. Would you move back home and stay with mom and dad and work for a while, or would you? Okay, so let's say you have three options: accept the job, move back home, stay with mom and dad. accept the job, move back home, and live on your own, or turn down the job and try your luck on something else?
Just based from where I'm from, I probably would stay away from that certain area. But I know a lot of people save a lot of money when they do stay with their parents for a year or two,
Yeah.
and then they can get something really nice or something they prefer. But I would probably turn down the job offer if it was in my hometown.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So depending on what I get from that is depending on where you're from. You might decide, no, not necessarily will I take this particular job.
Depending on if the salary is good, though.
There you go.
If the salary was really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I could have thrown that in there, I
Yeah.
guess, and said starting salary $75,000.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Okay. All right. So yeah, those are some of the kinds of decisions that students will be facing. And have a conversation with the parents and be like, I may have to move back home for 6 months. I'll share a little bit of rent, and then I'll be looking for my own place.
I know my parents would be very happy.
Yeah. For you to come back home?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So important decisions to make, and we just want to try to encourage students to start thinking now, because you get wrapped up in the excitement here of graduation, and we don't want students to get disappointed if you don't get that job, that perfect job, right out. I think probably the percentage is on the lower end of people who get the perfect job right out. So you may have to spend a little time, a year or two, get your feet wet, and then
network.
Absolutely, yeah. Start meeting people and talking with people, and even within the job that you're in, they may have come from somewhere else. They may know other contact people. So yeah, networking is very important.
I would say for a starter job, it might not be the position you want, but just look and see the departments that job may offer, because that entry level job, you might not want that position, but years to come you could possibly apply for that position that you really want.
Right. Yeah. Look at all of the options within that particular company. What else might they offer? And you may have some transferable skills. You may have been a student worker in a department here at the university, and you have picked up some skills outside of your major. You may have been a business major, but you were doing some other things in your job. So you have some transferable skills that you might be able to negotiate with the company. All right. So we get the graduates going, then we got our juniors, sophomores, and freshmen coming back next year. So they'll be going home, doing different things, or maybe here in summer school trying to, get ahead, or maybe trying to catch up. You mentioned the tutoring center. So we want to, make sure to encourage students that they need that as a resource. Are there any other tips that you would offer for students coming back just to kind of stay ahead,
I probably would have taken more summer classes during my time here at ECU, just because it gives you the opportunity to graduate earlier and get your foot in the door a lot quicker than your other peers.
Right.
But yeah, I guess it just depends on financially and where you're living, how long your lease is, stuff like that.
Yeah, right. And with online, the other the other factor is that, okay, so maybe you are going back home, but you still want to get ahead. You might look at our online course offerings, because we have one of the best online.
Yeah. I think number one in
the state,
number 6 in the country.
That's right. So online is a wonderful option, almost regardless of where you are. Living at the beach for the summer, take some courses while you're at the beach.
Nice.
That might be a good option for everybody. So we just wanted to share some of these resources and a little bit of information and send out some congratulations. There are a lot of activities happening between now and May 6th to kind of send everybody off in style. A lot of receptions and honor ceremonies and even some things like some pool parties and things to relax. Like I stated earlier, in between your studying. So look at the Engage web link on the website for East Carolina University, and a lot of the events that we're talking about are on there. You can see what's happening, what day and what time, and the location. But we want to say congratulations to everyone, including the other half of our team this morning. Tanner is graduating on May 6th.
Yeah.
So I can just see the excitement
Oh, yeah.
oozing from your body there, Tanner.
I'll be here next year though.
Okay, so you've already decided
Oh
that you'll be back for graduate school.
yeah.
Right. So things to think about after the ECU experience. And like I say, depending on the job market, depending on your interests, going right into graduate school might be a great option. So best wishes to all of our upcoming graduates. Best wishes to everyone on their exams. Have a great and safe summer. And we look forward to touching base with you again in the near future.
Have a good one.
Have a good one. Thank you.